Hello, Dazzle. Thanks for coming and hanging out with me today. I'm glad that you are here. Today, I want to explore the aesthetics of Dark Souls Remastered, focusing on its visual design, atmosphere, narrative structure, and thematic depth. By analyzing these elements, we can understand how the game's aesthetics contribute to its lasting appeal and cultural significance. One of the most striking aspects of Dark Souls is its visual design, which draws heavily from Gothic and medieval influences. The game's world, Lodran, is a vast and intricate landscape filled with towering castles, decaying cathedrals, dark forests, and eerie ruins. The architecture is grandiose, yet crumbling, reflecting a world that once thrived but now is in decline. The blend of grandeur and decay creates a haunting beauty, evoking a sense of awe and melancholy. The use of lighting and color further enhances the game's atmosphere. The contrast between light and shadow is a key feature, with dark, foreboding areas interspersed with brief glimpses of light, such as the warm glow of bonfires. This interplay of light and darkness not only serves as a gameplay mechanic by guiding players through the world, but also reinforces the game's themes of hope and despair. The muted color palette, dominated by grays, browns, and dark greens, adds to the somber mood, while occasional bursts of vibrant color, such as the golden sunlight in Anor Londo, provides a stark contrast and a momentary sense of relief. Character and enemy design in Dark Souls also contribute to its unique aesthetic. The game's enemies range from grotesque creatures and undead knights to majestic dragons and ancient deities. Each design is meticulously detailed, often blending elements of horror and fantasy. The player's armor and weapon choices further emphasize the game's medieval aesthetic, allowing players to customize their appearance while adhering to the overall theme. The atmosphere of Dark Souls is one of its most defining features, crafted through a combination of environmental design, sound, and narrative elements. The world of Lordran is immersive and cohesive, with interconnected areas that feel both expansive and claustrophobic. The sense of isolation is palpable as players traverse desolate landscapes and encounter few NPCs, each with their own cryptic and often tragic backstory. This isolation is compounded by the game's minimalistic use of music, which is reserved for boss battles and certain key locations. The absence of constant background music allows the ambient sounds of the environment, such as the wind, creaking wood, and distant echoes, to take center stage, heightening the player's sense of immersion and unease. The lore and storytelling in Dark Souls are intricately tied to its world building. The game's narrative is deliberately opaque, requiring players to piece together the story through item descriptions, environmental cues, and sparse dialogue. This fragmented storytelling approach encourages exploration and interpretation, inviting players to delve into the game's mythology and uncover its secrets. The enigmatic nature of the narrative contributes to the game's overall atmosphere, reinforcing the themes of mystery and uncertainty. The aesthetics of Dark Souls are not just about visual and auditory elements, but also encompass the thematic depth and symbolism embedded within the game. The world of Lordran is rich with allegorical context, exploring themes such as the cycle of life and death, the nature of power and corruption, and the search for meaning in a decaying world. The game's central mechanic of death and resurrection serves as a metaphor for perseverance and the inevitability of failure. Each death is a learning experience, and the player's ability to rise again and continue their journey mirrors the human's condition and resilience. The game's reoccurring imagery of fire and darkness symbolizes the duality of hope and despair, creation and destruction. The first flame, a central element of the game's lore, represents the spark of life and order, while the encroaching darkness signifies entropy and chaos. The player's quest to either rekindle the flame or let it die is a philosophical choice that reflects broader existential questions about the nature of existence and the value of prolonging a flawed world. The use of religious and mythological motifs further enhances the game's aesthetic and thematic complexity. The pantheon of gods and demigods in Dark Souls, along with the various covenants and factions, draw parallels to real-world mythologies and religions, exploring themes of faith, loyalty, and divine divine fallibility. The game's exploration of these themes invites players to question the nature of divinity and the role of individuals within larger cosmic forces. The aesthetics of Dark Souls have a profound impact on the player's experience, shaping how players perceive and engage with the game. The combination of visual and auditory elements, coupled with the game's challenging mechanics and deep lore, creates a sense of immersion that few games can match. The atmosphere of isolation and despair, tempered by moments of beauty and triumph, evokes a wide range of emotions from awe and wonder to frustration and satisfaction. The game's difficulty and unforgiving nature are also integral to its aesthetic appeal. The sense of accomplishment that comes from overcoming the game's challenges is heightened by the oppressive atmosphere and the stakes of the player's journey. Each victory feels hard-earned, and each discovery adds to the richness of the game's world. This sense of achievement is not just a result of mastering the gameplay mechanics, but also from engaging with the game's complex narrative and thematic elements. The aesthetics of Dark Souls are a defining feature of the game, encompassing its visual design, atmosphere, narrative structure, and thematic depth. The game's dark and immersive world, coupled with its enigmatic storytelling and rich symbolism, creates an experience that transcends traditional gaming. Dark Souls is not just a game to be played, but a world to be explored and contemplated, offering players a unique blend of beauty, mystery, and existential reflection. Its aesthetics have left a lasting impact on both the gaming community and the broader cultural landscape, solidifying its place as a modern classic and a testament to the power of video games as an art form. Well, that's about it for my rambling today. Thanks for coming and spending some time with me. If you like my rambling, then click on that like button. It really does help. And until we talk again, you guys be sure to take care of yourselves. Bye!